Good morning, and we're in chapter 12. Today it is a big chapter. It's the most meaty chapter, no pun intended. And we're going to get into it because it's talking about the Passover and the Feast of the Unleavened Bread. And we've got a lot in here. I've gone through it. It feels like it took a long time. I tried recording this already once, and it took over 30 minutes, and that's too long. The Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be the beginning of your months, and it shall be the first month of the year. Now, on the side here is, on the right-hand side, we have the what can the symbols of the Passover teach about Jesus Christ. I'm going to try to go through that as we go through this. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month, ye shall take to them every man a lamb according to the house and their fathers, a lamb for an house. And I just think that that is a really good way of talking about the ministering to the one, in the sense that we should do today, that we should go to each person's house and teach them. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next to his house take it according to the number of souls, every man according to his eating, or so that they have enough, basically, your count for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male in the first year. That is often talked about. We often talk about it as the same as the Lord being without sin and without blemish when he did the atonement. And ye shall take it from the sheep or from the goats. So sheep or goats. We often think goats are always, when we often talk in the from Christ saying that he'll separate the sheep from the goats. In this sense, goats are still used in ordinances in the Old Testament. So it's not the stigma that goats are an evil thing or anything like that you sometimes get. And it's two different things. When he's talking about separating the sheep from the goats, he's saying there's going to be a separation, and those that don't live the gospel will not have the same advantage as those that do. And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. The whole assembly of the congregation shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take the blood and strike it on the two side posts and the upper door of the post of the house wherein ye shall eat it. And I compare this to, how do we bring the atonement into our lives, into our houses? Do we protect our houses through the atonement? We may not put a physical blood on the door, but do we take the blood of Christ into our lives through the sacrament, and throughout the week, do we live up to that covenant? And do our children also feel that covenant in your lives? And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire, and unleavened bread, and bitter herbs shall eat it. And whenever I think of the bitter herbs, I think of the bitter cup that Christ talks about that he had to take for the atonement. And the unleavened bread, do we run away from sin? Do we not stop to let something fester, or in the sense, be leavened, to rise. We don't have time for that. We need to get out if we're in sin. Eat not of it raw or sodden, that means boiled, at all with the water, but roast with fire his head with his legs and with his purtenance, which purtenance is the stuff inside that is cookable. So, guts and things, no, but maybe whatever else. His liver is something you can eat, and so forth, and kidneys. And he shall eat nothing of it remain until morning. Let nothing remain of it until morning. And that which remaineth of it until morning shall burn with fire. Make it be consumed. Consume everything. And when we're talking about the text in red, think of the atonement in our lives. Do we take it in that it all is in there, not just a little bit? Don't just say, "Oh, I'm fine. I'll just have a little bit." You follow it, and thus ye shall eat it with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat in haste in the Lord's Passover. And notice he says Lord's Passover, so here's the Passover. And he's saying it here. And I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt will I execute judgment. I am the Lord. Notice it says this night. This isn't just one night though. Remember, you had the unleavened bread for 7 days, and you're supposed to go from the 10th to the 14th on the feast of the Passover. These things were taking time, and sometimes the Lord will take time with us. And the blood shall be unto you for a token or a sign, and upon the houses where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to the Lord. Throughout your generations ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. And 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away the leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the 7th, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. And the first day there shall be an holy convocation, which means a meeting. And in the 7th day there shall be a holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you. This must have been hard, in the sense of Pharaoh has been pushing them and pushing them and pushing them. You work. And now the Lord's saying, no, slow down now. I am your Lord, not him. And I think the thing I thought of on this is when the Lord said, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. And ye shall observe the feast of the unleavened bread, for the selfsame day that I have brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore ye shall observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. And when it says by an ordinance, it means a permanent law. In the first month of the 14th day of the month at even shall ye eat unleavened bread until the 21 day of the month, even at even. So 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses. For whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even the soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land, or sojourner, somebody that's come in from the outside. And ye shall eat nothing leavened. In all your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread. Then Moses called all the elders of Israel and said unto them, Draw out and take you a lamb according to your families, and kill the Passover. And ye shall take the bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the two side posts with blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out at the door of the house until morning, for good reason. But they need to follow this, and it's given the Lord a chance for, or the people a chance to prove to the Lord that they are His. And the Lord will pass through to smite the Egyptians, and when He seeth the blood upon the lintel and on the two side posts, the Lord will pass over the door, and will not suffer the destroyer to come unto your houses and smite you. Isn't it interesting that that was the same promise that was given for those that live the word of wisdom? And ye shall observe this thing for an ordinance to thee and thy sons forever. And it shall come to pass that when ye come to the land which the Lord will give you, according as He has promised, ye shall keep this service. And it shall come to pass that when your children shall say, What mean ye by this service? Think of this as a sacrament. When our children ask, why are we taking the sacrament? Let them know. And ye say that it is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the houses of Israel in Egypt. What's the sacrament? It is the sacrifice of the Lord, that He would pass over my sinful state, that He would help me overcome those things that I needed to overcome. And He would take away my sins. When He smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses, and the people bowed the head and worshipped, and the children of Israel went away and did as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote the firstborn of the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in dungeon, and all the firstborn of the cattle. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, and all his servants and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house that was not one dead. And he called Moses and Aaron by night, and said, Rise up and get you forth from among my people, both ye and the children of Israel, and go and serve the Lord as ye have said. Isn't it interesting that He tells them, Go and serve the Lord as ye have said? He knew all along what they were supposed to do. And take all your flocks and your herds as ye have said, and be gone, and bless me also. In other words, you're causing all this, get out. But not realizing that He's the one that caused it in the first place. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste. And for they said, We all be dead men. Basically, we have seen what's happened here. we don't want any more, because this is final. Somebody's died already in our house. What else can they take from us? Our own lives. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading troughs being bound up in the clothes upon their shoulders. And the children of Israel did according to the word. And you can see how everything that he was told about the unleavened bread and things is coming to fruition here anyway. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptians, or asked of the Egyptians, jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so they gave them unto them such things as they required, and they spoilt or despoiled the Egyptians, basically saying the same word as I believe as when somebody conquers, they take the spoils of a country. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth. About 600,000 on foot were men, besides children, and a mixed multitude. Now it's kind of interesting. They're talking about people who are not Israelites went up with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle. People who believed the same thing, or they might have been servants as well. But notice what they say here in a second. But this multitude was ones that were following the Savior still. And it could have been some Egyptians, I don't know. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they brought forth out of Egypt. For it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt and could not tarry. Neither had they prepared themselves any victual food. Basically, it was all coming true. Eat this lamb and then go out. And the Lord will sometimes ask us to do something, and we shouldn't just tarry. Now, the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years. And it came to pass the end of 430 years, the selfsame day, it came to pass that all the hosts of the Lord went out from Egypt. And it was a night to be much observed unto the Lord. In other words, the Lord recognized, watched them, knew, were watching over them for bringing them out of the land of Egypt. This is the night of the Lord to be observed of all the children of Israel in their generations. And the Lord said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof, but every man's servant that is bought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. And the foreigner and hired servant shall not eat thereof. In one house shall be, in one house shall be eaten. Thou shalt not tarry forth aught the flesh out of the house. In other words, don't take the flesh out of the house. Neither break ye a bone thereof. And that ties in with the fact that Christ never had a broken bone. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when the Savior shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover, the Lord let his males be circumcised. Let them come near and keep it. And he shall be as one born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. Keep the commandments, is what it's saying. Keep those laws that I've put forth. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth with you. Whatever I've asked you to do, it should be the same. And you don't say, oh, well, it's okay for him or him because they don't understand. It's still the same law. Thus did the children of Israel as the Lord commanded, and Moses and Aaron did so did they. And it came to pass that the Lord did bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies. And that is going from Easter Sunday, last Sunday, to today, the Passover, bringing it full circle. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.